first of all, what do we got going on here?
Well, I thought we'd make a 3-berry jam this morning.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? I've been cooking my my breads.
Blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 of my favorites.
Yeah. So I thought, you know what? Why don't we
Are
make
there any other berries?
Yeah, well, strawberries you could do.
There you go. You're right.
Yeah. But at any rate, I don't know about you. The reason I started making jam is people would bring berries over and they'd leave them, and I didn't know what to do with them.
Okay.
And they'd go bad.
Nice.
And so I finally figured out, well, wait a minute. There's got to be something you can do with these berries.
A little berry jam.
Little berry jam. Takes about a half hour to do it.
Okay.
It's really simple. You know, you just basically take some berries. I cleaned these earlier today, but you want to clean them.
Yeah.
You don't want them.
Yeah, they get moldy.
Yep. And you got, that's the other thing, you got to look to make sure that there aren't some bad berries. But at any rate, so you just put them in a small saucepan like this, right? Now, look, like this is what I was talking about. See?
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, and we just wouldn't put that in there. I thought I got them all, but apparently I didn't. Make sure I'm good. And so basically, what most of these recipes call for is for you to put about a cup of sugar in it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big sugar guy, so I'm not going to do that. So this particular recipe, it calls for you to put in a whole cup of sugar.
Too much.
I won't do it. I'll put in a half a cup of sugar.
Okay.
And I've done this several times before, so I now know, Caitlin, that you don't need a whole cup of sugar. So, perfect. And again, it's whatever sugar you want. Doesn't really matter. But what you're doing here is basically you're going to heat these berries with sugar, and they're going to start reducing down. So I'm just going to put this on medium.
No liquid?
No,
not
really. Just going to put it on medium low. And what's going to happen is this is going to actually just start to liquefy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put a couple little ingredients in it.
Yeah.
That you don't normally put in.
The good stuff.
Yeah. So most recipes don't call for this, but I like to put in a little bit of vanilla. And then my secret is a little bit of amaretto. And you put that in there, and it's going to give you a really nice, distinct flavor.
Okay.
So that.
And what do we got here?
Well, that is cornstarch, and I use that to make a slurry, which will actually help thicken up.
A slurry.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'm learning something new today.
Yeah, so it's going to help thicken it up as we go along. But yeah, that's typically what I do. Another thing I like to do, if I have it, which I happen to, I like to put in fresh lemon juice, which is so happen to have.
We're prepared over here.
And I've already prepared it. I put a little bit in just to kind of give it some additional flavor. So Mike, look, while we're cooking this, because it's going to take about 30 minutes, why don't we talk a little bit of business? Maybe pick up on where we left off last week.
Yeah. Topic being for the week. When a new company is started, how does somebody in that company manage leads and deals and track that information, where it's going, who you're talking to? So there's some stages that you should create to develop that and go through it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you do, have a process of how you manage your opportunities. Opportunities being maybe companies or potential customers that you're talking to.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're selling into large organizations, that gets really important.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you're selling a product that you would sell online, which that's a whole nother discussion we could have, that's a different sales model. But where you have opportunities where you're selling to big organizations, your SaaS software subscriptions, you're going to want to have what's called a pipeline.
Yes.
And that pipeline is going to have everything about the deals you're working on.
Crucial.
Very crucial. And you want that all centralized in one place.
Okay.
Now, what I recommend doing, and some people would disagree with me on this, but I think when you're first starting out, first 20, 30 deals, perfectly acceptable to manage that in a spreadsheet.
Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the reason I say that is everybody has a philosophy about the different stages of an opportunity, right? So is it just a warm lead? You know, your buddy called and said these guys would be interested. Is it are you at a stage where you not only followed up and talked to the company and they're interested? Have you done a demo of your product maybe? That could be another stage.
Yeah, that's going to be later.
It will be. I will tell you one of the things that I also think in those stages is there's a stage somewhere in there where you've confirmed or had a commercials discussion with your prospect.
Yep. That's for the viewer. Commercials, probably taken through that definition.
Yeah, so it's basically an agreement between your company and the company that you're going to work with,
right,
on how we're going to do business together. And will your software be available?
Kind of the definitions of timing, what you're going to be doing for them, how you interact.
Yeah, what you're going to deliver, how they're going to pay for what you're delivering, what their commitments are, what your commitments are. And I think the earlier you can get to that discussion, the greater opportunity you have to get over objections and actually turn that prospect into a customer.
Okay, so you're saying the early stages of a company, track it through an Excel spreadsheet, maybe even always track it through an Excel spreadsheet, but there are CRM tools for this.
Oh yeah, and there's good ones.
Yes.
You know, there's the ones that everybody knows like Salesforce or HubSpot, Sugar CRM. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. But the reason I always say to do it through a spreadsheet first is that you want to get kind of the idea of the flow of how the opportunities are going to flow and how your unique business works, okay?
Yep.
So that when you do go to do the CRM, you're going to be a lot more comfortable setting it up to the way you manage your business. And believe me, these CRMs, they do a good job actually helping you set up, etc. So it's not like you wouldn't, that would necessarily be the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
I just prefer to kind of get that knowledge hands-on first.
So you understand the whole process.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a lead, I set up the meeting, I scheduled a demo, now I might have a next meeting with the VP of operations, just the whole flow process.
Yeah, and you might also find out that your particular solution requires at least 3 different meetings before you can even get to a probability that this is going to be a customer.
Right.
Or you may only need 1 meeting, right?
Right.
And so you
hopefully.
Yeah, but you're going to find that out as you go through your process.
Okay.
And then, because the other thing that's important here is that eventually you're going to want to be able to forecast your business,
right,
so that you can tell your investors or your partners, here's how we're doing, here's what I expect to do. And you're going to want to look at things like, how much pipeline do I need to have to get growth each quarter? So let's take a little check-in on our jam. We're starting to jam now.
Talking a little biz, cooking a little jam.
A little jam, a little bit.